Hello and what?
Oh, hello.
Oh, hey, Ramani.
Hey, Armani, how have you been since the days of Rayman lore?
I mean, I'm sure on his Twitter he still posts the occasional Rayman shitpost, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're actually here to talk about this year's Sonic Amateur Gaming Expo.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! In particular, we're now on to the grand year 2021, where there has been a pretty good amount of, honestly, maybe not so much in terms of fan games, but a good amount of, like, indie original projects being made now.
Ice cream.
Yep. And the first of those games we're going to show off is called Scoop Kick by Ramani. Basically, the whole thing is that you take control of this ice cream vendor who has unfortunately been ransacked by evil-looking fruit.
Hi, what are you doing, huh?
Oh,
Not
no.
the ice cream!
Give me back my ice cream, you degenerates!
So ultimately, I'll say right now, if you ever played Burger Time,
Yeah.
it reminds you of that.
Yeah, no,
That's essentially
like,
what this
they
game is. It's Burger Time
literally-
with a little kick to it.
literally.
Oh.
When I literally saw the cones down there, I just went, "Oh, it's burger time."
Oh, there you go.
Only instead
Although
of
it looks
burgers,
like-
this time you have nice, sweet, cold ice cream.
It looks like... Go ahead.
Oh, there you go. I was about to ask. Well, I guess I also kind of answered my question. Like, as far as like kicking the ice cream there, like, will the round end when you get every bit of ice cream knocked over, and like, do they all have to have like for lack of a better word, enemy topping on it?
Oh, no, that's just for extra points. The game only really wants you to make sure that every scoop of ice cream manages to get itself on a cone. Doesn't even matter if you fill up all the cones. Like, you can just leave one hanging and the level will still be cleared.
I know that's supposed to be
It's
like
in-
chocolate ice cream down there, but honest to God, it looks like meatballs or donut
does look
holes.
like-
There was either that. I was thinking maybe peanut butter ice cream.
Go! Ah,
For me, it looks
smart.
Yeah, the AI, once they see trouble, they're gonna go rushing to the nearest ladder.
so you gotta surprise him like that!
Nice.
Yep. He didn't even see it coming.
Yay.
Now, it looks like you get more points the more you, the higher you stack the ice cream.
You get a bigger score if you do stuff like that, or again, actually get some of that bloody fruit residue on top of the ice cream.
I want to ask just right off the bat, because we were talking about this before we started. We're handling our Sage Showcase a bit differently than what we did last year, whereas last year we just had like 2 videos, one dedicated to stuff James was showing off, one dedicated to what Logan's showing off.
And a third one's dedicated to all the multiplayer stuff we did. Which,
yes.
I mean, actually, that is still something that we're not entirely decided on, because there are a few multiplayer-centric Sage stuff we haven't recorded as of yet, but I am debating if we should try that or not.
But yeah, basically the
Well,
point...
there was that substantial update to Power Bomberman that we heard about.
Yeah, basically, it did add in a few extra little bits, like a new health bar, assuming you want to go with that, and a whole bunch of brand new characters. One of which is probably something that Matt gave the game shit for not including it originally.
What?
Anyway, the reason I pull it up is...
What was his name? Jehuti?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they added him back finally.
I assume he did. I assume they did. I haven't unlocked it for myself, but considering there's like a shit ton of new characters in the gotcha bomb, that's likely one of the new characters.
They added 600. Oh, they added 600 new characters.
Yeah, no.
Which I don't know. I don't know what they're even pulling from anymore. I think they ran out of Bomberman characters.
I don't think I was giving shit for having not Jehudi. I think it was something else. I don't know exactly.
I recall Jehuti being one of the characters you mentioned.
Oh yeah, no. Definitely, like, that's one of the characters I mentioned, but like I'm not certain if that is like the character I was talking about. Maybe it was.
Well, no matter. Back to Hype's original question. What we're gonna be how we're gonna be handling it this time around is I was the one basically in charge of editing everything this time around, and Jane sent me all his footage that effectively. Ooh, now we have trapdoors. Basically, I decided to separate this out into a couple of videos. First off, the one that you're seeing us do right now is focusing on the all of the fan game, all of the games that we enjoyed that were, primarily 2D based. Then there'll be a couple other videos which, it's going to be a multi-part, honestly, because
that was way too fast for those guys to react.
Yeah, I know. It's an AI thing. It's like the minute any frame of them heading towards them, you have to you really do need to just wait till the last second till you see the white of their eyes. Anywho.
Just reaching for cover.
Bam! Well, then you can combo them like that. Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Anywho, yeah, no, a lot of people, but just, yeah, in general, a lot of game creators have been like, oh no. A lot of them have been looking into like Unity and Blender and things like that. Like, I'm really excited to see the kind of games that are going to be, you know, produced in the future because, yeah, we got ourselves plenty of platformers, plenty of puzzle games, as James will show off, and we're very excited to see, hopefully, you know, make a return. Racing games are being made in 3D, like, yeah, definitely. The tools necessary to make these things are becoming more and more readily available, so that will actually be a two-parter.
Oh, fuck.
Ouch.
Yeah, they're very aggressive, I'll say.
Now,
Yeah.
Anyway, the whole thing that I was trying to get around to asking is that, like, so we're basically setting it up where it's like one video is just all the 2D stuff, one video, or two videos technically, is all the 3D stuff. I was just gonna ask, like, in succession, like, who recorded who. Like, for example, who was the one that recorded this?
This was me.
Yep, and then the other two games are me.
Also, behold, probably the most annoying thing you'll ever come across in the Burger Time type game.
Oh,
He's creating
The
enemies.
ever-multiplying grape. And I love how cheeky that the level's title was. It really is The Grape Escape.
I was
The Grape Escape.
going to call him the Grape of Wrath.
there
Is it
that.
possible? Can we actually kill that thing or no?
I don't think you can outright kill them, but even if you do end up killing them, they'll likely respawn
shit.
through that door. Like, you can barely see on the top right corner of the screen.
But yeah, wow, goodness, like, okay, yeah, you need to, like, start tackling some of this stuff, like, get these scoops out of here, like, pronto, otherwise it's gonna get hell to try and, like, navigate around.
Yeah,
Oh.
like case in point.
But yeah, no, like, you know, the enemies are super aggressive in this, like, I don't know if there's, like, a way to slow them down, maybe.
Not even your
Power-ups would be really
not
cool.
even your swift kicks can really take them out.
But power-ups would be really neat, Raimani, just throwing that out there. I'd be curious to see what we could do with
Like,
that.
I mean, of all things, maybe give her own take on Peter Pepper's Pepper Shaker.
Right, or something that, like, maybe, you know, considering you are an ice cream worker who works with ice cream
Okay,
scoops,
Oh, no,
ability that freezes them.
Or if you really want to go down the chaotic evil route, Jimmy's.
That could work.
Jimmy?
Well, in any case, James got about as far as he could, so on to the next game.
This time by Logan.
Asylum
Yep.
Square.
By Silent Square and supported by a German foundation,
Huh.
Uh-huh.
Tiny Thor.
Oh.
Tiny Thor. This is one I've heard about here and there
Is
for the
that
longest
supposed
time.
to
but
be
it's-
Loki in the background?
I have no clue.
If it is, then
I
I mean,
goddamn.
would you really be surprised? Would you really be surprised?
But okay,
I can tell you who it may be when we get further into that. And there's those two crows up there. Regardless.
oh, the two
part I'm gonna focus-
crows are Odin's crows. Welcome to
Aw.
the demo Tiny Floor.
Floor.
I can't talk.
Welcome, Grand Adventure Thor on
Shut
his
up.
amazing
You
adventure.
hit the Thor? Well, it hurts.
Shut up.
Okay, so first off, we have some nice little physics of
Your
sliding.
Thor? Well it.
Uh,
Well it.
well, the power-up system works a little bit differently like this.
Oh boy.
So real quick, that heart went from 6 to 5 because they kind of they treat their power mushrooms almost like think of it like a power mushroom combined with the Baby Mario mechanic of Yoshi's Island.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? This looks like Lost Vikings, like, but mixed with the world and aesthetic of what was it called? Fucking it's one of my favorite.
Asterix?
Owlboy.
Honestly,
Oh,
like,
ah!
and honestly, like, the way you mentioned, like, comparing the health to, like, the baby mechanic in Yoshi's Island, something about the level design and the way Thor moves here also kind of reminds me of Yoshi's Island a little.
Especially those breakable platforms, yeah.
Also,
In some ways, this game kind of also reminds me of a very obscure PS1 title called The Adventures of Lomax, which is pretty much
I've heard
a
of that.
platformer-based Lemming spin-off.
Oh, that was
Oh.
years ago.
I'll look into that. So we made it back to Thor's village after he was out, you know, hanging around.
Just yeah, no. It's funny considering that.
birthday boy, not so tiny anymore.
I can't help it. Your belt seems to be growing wider every year as well, Snorri.
Snorri.
Ah,
Fuck you, dude.
I
Alright,
do
we're gonna
recall.
talk-
I do recall seeing this game in passing, like on Steam. Like it was like in development for the longest time, but nothing ever came of it. And I mean, now that I'm seeing it in action again, it's like, oh, they actually remember this game exists.
Oh yeah, no, and I will say,
Woof.
like, just as a full disclosure, I had had difficulties with. There's supposed to be Oh, you know, I think I'm not closer to the dog. There it is. Good boy. Now I'm petting the dog. Moving on. We're gonna talk over some of this dialogue here real quick.
Oh, that's
there's
Odin.
Our dear daddy, dearest Odin. In any case, I will say I had some difficulties with this game originally, but the developers were very very responsive and very open to talking about it on their Discord, and we were able to resolve it. So they're pretty good. My spine is broken, but we get this game's pretty neat little gimmick behind its combat. Mjolnir.
Yep.
So this is how Mjolnir works.
I said this is... Oh, there you go.
That
Damn it
is
is basically
cool.
Yoshi's Island egg.
Kind of, yeah. Basically,
Like
it's an
it.
egg. It's a permanent egg that always will hang around the screen. You will never lose it. Even if I aim it straight up, it'll bounce off of the edges of the screen.
Oh, yep,
itself.
that was Yoshi.
So yeah, I mean, yeah. Now I think about it, yeah. And basically, yeah, the idea is that I could throw this thing and just let it do whatever
Oh,
while
there's
I
the
go around
music.
it, or press X to call it back to me immediately. And yeah, right there, I refilled my heart that was at 5 to 8 to give myself more time, because if you take a hit, you will be without that like shield, that super mushroom power up.
That should have
unless you
hit
either
the floor
reclaim the
there.
heart. Shush! It worked out for my favor. Anywho, if you run out of that, you are basically one hit kills. So you want to try and hang on to that heart as long as you can.
Makes sense.
Oh, there you go.
Anyway, I kind of hope that the guy on the title screen isn't Loki, because
Whoa.
I really hate
Wait.
I hate that the MCU has made, like, the MCU has become so popular. Oh,
So I think Loki's that guy, and I'll explain why when you hear the dialogue. For now, we have to save him from some snakes. Go for it.
Also, I
Crap,
wouldn't
it's
say...
going the wrong way.
Also, technically, I wouldn't really say that's MCU exclusive, because Marvel's made Loki a villain for decades.
nah,
So,
villain.
like, hey,
I'm talking about the
I'm so
brother
grateful that
thing.
you saved me.
Oh.
So small and already half a hero. So we don't know this guy. He's like, yeah, that strange new guy in the village. Everyone thinks you're so short and odd.
That was
It's
uncalled for.
uncalled for. Anyway.
See if others got you as famous hammer. How would you put that weapon to good use and go on a real
Also,
adventure?
I'm
so
sorry.
make
Oh
believe?
no!
Make believe.
Anyway.
I like adventures.
Yeah, why not? Yes, of course you do. Something sinister is going on in the court of the Bee Queen.
What?
An ancient artifact has put a spell on her. Mjolnir grants you the power to destroy it. Okay. I'll be back for dinner.
Roasted boar with cranberries.
It's Thanksgiving
goody,
already.
goody.
It's Thanksgiving already?
Well, maybe. So I think this guy's the villain in disguise. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, he already looks a little shady.
Yeah.
And he's like acting very shady. So I'm also gonna say, for the sake of this look at, I'm gonna skip the second level and just jump ahead to the third level. But yeah. So first off, right off the bat, what are your guys' thoughts on Tiny Thor? And I guess what were your thoughts on, and also what were your thoughts on Scoop Kick, because we talked over that originally.
I'll start off with Scoop Kick and say that, like, it looked really cute. I liked the totally arcadey vibes that it has. Probably won't invest in it myself because it looks like it's kind of arcadey almost to a fault. But not to say that it's bad because of it. It's just something I probably won't get too much mileage out of. As for Tiny Thor here, it looks cute. I like the pixel art that it's using right now, and I do like the Yoshi's Island like gameplay style.
Alrighty. How about you, James?
I mean, I've already mentioned that this game is giving me some serious vibes of like the age-old 32-bit platformers of its age, and I mean, it handles that aesthetic very nicely, and the gameplay itself looks pretty solid as well, with how much it more or less, takes its cues from Yoshi's Island.
Okay. How about you, Matt?
Looks fun. Looks interesting. Not going to lie, I kind of prefer the what is it called?
Scoop Kick?
Scoop Kick. I actually kind of prefer that over this, because this game
That's
does
fine.
look fun, but it kind of feels like a generic mascot platformer. The other one felt like a kind of twist on Burger Time, which I haven't seen in a long time.
Fair.
That's really
I'm
fair.
curious to. I'm mainly curious to see how they, what they can do with this hammer, mechanics, because it seems like they have something there, and if they can like come up with some unique like puzzle things, like maybe having to escort this thing by using the, like I could see one puzzle being that you have to escort this hammer by literally walking so that you move the screen transitions further, thus keep continuing to push the hammer farther. I'd be curious to see what they could do with that.
Also, last thing I'll say about Loki earlier, I don't think it. I am going to give credit to God of War for this one thing. It's kind of spoiler for that game. Yeah, it actually got right that Loki is a redhead. He does not have black hair.
Huh.
But it wasn't as sellable in. But it would not be as sellable on Vogue
I was about to
magazine
say, like,
if we had.
didn't
like,
Loki in the
a redhead
comic?
for some
Wasn't
reason.
Loki in the comics also a brunette before the MCU?
Was he?
Maybe we never really saw his hair in the comics. And
Well,
like,
I know in some of the cartoons he's shown having a black ponytail.
yeah, well, okay, there's that, yes. And again, the thing is, the comics just fuck with mythology so much that, like, I don't think people like, I love mythologies, all different kinds and all that. I do love Norse mythology and all that. I'm writing a Norse mythology based play, but
Jump there.
But yeah, no, it's the whole fact of, like, just I like it when the mythology is done right. I hate that the MCU has made it so, their version so popular that nobody knows what is real and what is not.
So the Disney effect.
Yeah, basically.
Well, I was about to
Popular
say,
in the,
like, well, I guess it also
Also, I don't know what
depends-
this thing is. Do you know, Matt?
Nope. It just looks like a tree demon.
Well, anyway, all I was gonna say is that, like,
for the trees.
anyway, I was just gonna say, like, I'm not quite sure how much of that I want to hold against the MCU exclusively, because I don't know how much of
Not
it's
the
different from how
MCU,
the comics
just
do.
Marvel. Just Marvel in general.
Right.
Because
Sorry,
the
it's just
the other one
MCU,
have.
I know I said MCU, but that's because it's the most popular version. The comics had that problem as well. Most particularly making Thor and Loki brothers, when in actuality, if you want to be more accurate, Loki and Odin were brothers.
Okay,
That's possible.
there you go.
But there we go.
So by technicality, that would make Loki Thor's uncle.
Yes, actually.
Once again, it falls back to the classic evil
Uncle.
uncle trope.
Uncle
Uncles
Thor?
get a bad rap.
It's just, what would that make Loki? A monkey's uncle.
Uncles get a bad rap in fiction. Don't you realize that? Anyway, Skyrune.
Honestly,
got a new
if you
double
are a
jump ability.
family member that isn't the mom, you get a bad rap. And if the mom is
Unless
dead,
it's
then there's
Rapunzel.
the stepmom who is evil.
Unless it's that's also true. Okay, fair. I don't know why I said Rapunzel wasn't even her real mom. It was a mother figure, but not her real mom. Anywho, we're done with that's all we have for Tiny Thor. So again, be sure to wishlist that on Steam if you're curious. It looks
Does
like a
actually
fun,
look
like.
fun. Yeah.
Again, I'm curious to see what they do with that mechanic, with that hammer mechanic. So, lastly, we're gonna start off with some new grooves on a game that very immediately caught my attention when I first saw it in the original trailer for the Sage Expo.
You gotta do
Scratch
what?
and melody.
You gotta believe.
Honestly,
Pretty much.
Honestly, you say that, I'm just like, Mabel, what are you doing here?
Looks a little bit like that, but yeah. So this is Scratch and Melody. Melody may be the name of the character. I'm not entirely sure.
I mean, I
but
wouldn't be
when we get-
surprised.
When we get to the gameplay of it, it's very much a Parappa-inspired game.
I love the little comic option, like the menu options here.
Oh, no story mode right now.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
But we can select up to 3 levels, so we'll show those off.
Yeah. So let's do a few quick grooves.
Yep. So first, we have the cream cheese with
I
Cinnabay
cannot
and
tell if
Biggie
that is a
Baker.
if that is a 3D model or not.
It does play with 3D models, as shown in Astral Advisory.
I'm
So yeah, sometimes you'll be
I'm
repeating people, sometimes you'll
terrified.
be supporting.
I am terrified right now.
You know what? It's
Just
It really does, like, live up to the Parappa heritage, because that thing just reminds me of the animated, like, jukebox that Parappa had, too.
Ah, yes.
focus on. Go ahead.
He always wanted you to get some practice in before you start a level.
Just focus on the cute little thing there, and as you can also see here, this game also supports freestyle mechanics.
Oh, just like Parappa.
So yeah, basically you have to, sometimes you just gotta repeat what they say, and sometimes you actually gotta, compliment whatever rep they're doing at the time. And I mean, that part in particular can be a little tricky.
So I want to ask, like, like, going off the assumption that you've played Parappa games before, how would you say, like, the timing of, like, hitting beats and whatnot feels in this compared to, like, a typical Parappa game?
It's responsive. The biggest problem I have with it is, as you'll get to it, the scratching mechanic using the, oh.
Nom nom nom. Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Did you get any of that?
So I'm going to also talk about that real quick is, I don't know if this is going to be taken as a complaint or poking out stuff, but something I'm not too big on
Is the
And I don't know if
synthesized
it-
voice?
Yeah, like the music is there, the rhythm is there, but between this and especially the next song, if those subtitles were not there, I would not understand jack.
Yeah. Also, I will say.
And I feel like, I feel like if you could get like,
Yay!
I feel like if you could get like vocalists or something, that'd be like the last thing that this game needs to be like something really like
Also,
special to me. I don't know.
this is
but-
pretty much Parappa meets what was that other game you like? Friday Night Funkin'.
Friday Night Funkin'. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, even then you could argue Friday Night Funkin'
This
was a
one,
little bit
this is
Parappa
more.
inspired anyway.
This is more Parappa here. It feels like.
And as you see right there, my inputs get a little tricky. The inputs get really tricky when they want me to do very quick, because you have to do that either with the D-pad or with the analog stick. So maybe if it's possible to like do with a different, then maybe that would also make it a little bit easier.
Yeah, I'll have to agree, because I remember having a tricky time actually following along with how fast these songs can go.
Dang.
And just again, the synthesized voice is just a little bit off.
Yeah.
Well, how much are you willing to bet that maybe the synth voices are merely placeholder?
I don't know if you go. I don't know if you go to his official YouTube, SoundCloud, and Bandcamp. These voices are in the official soundtrack for this game. So I don't know if they are
Maybe-
placeholder,
maybe-
but
I think it's intentional.
Can I give a suggestion? It might be that Sage is trying to they put this in Sage so that yeah, I can't talk. They put this at Sage to drum up, you know, people's interest.
I see.
yeah.
Sorry.
But so far, what are
To
your
build
guys'
up
thoughts of these?
to build up
No, it's
people's
fine.
interest so that it gets more publicity and he can actually hire the rappers and stuff like that.
That would be really appreciative.
Yeah,
so,
that's
but
what.
for now, what do you guys
How
think of
did
the
you guys
aesthetics
not
of this?
fuck it?
No, that's fine.
It's okay. What did you think of the aesthetics overall, since we're approaching the end of this showcase of this video?
Parappa.
Okay, so not good. Duly noted.
No,
You gotta clarify. Sorry.
Oh, that's a B performance there, Logan.
I'm fine with that. That record scratching was crazy. What about you, James?
I mean, yeah, I think this thing has promise, though I can also agree that there's certain things that they could fix upon, like, again, the synthesized voices. And,
Yeah.
again, the overall speed of the songs in general. Like, those feel like they could very well be, like, last level sort of affairs in Parappa.
Yeah,
imagine.
some sort of difficulty slider, or again, a different control scheme for the analog thing. Because what would happen there is, like, if you want me to go left, right, really quickly, even if I'm just barely going with the analog stick, it would sometimes slip in an up an up input in there when I didn't mean to. And so when it's like rapid back to back to back to back, I feel like it can get a little tricky, unless he was intending that to be D-pad only, in which case, oh boy, I don't know if my left thumb can move that quickly between the left and right D-pad. But yeah. And then Matt said that he enjoys it because the Parappa arts. And again, I want more games. I love games that allow you to be, you know, more free flowing with your rhythm if you feel, you know, daring enough to experiment. And so out of all those 2D games, you know, I again, really solid projects. I'm hoping to see them all grow. And now stay tuned for our next vid when we will be looking at some of the 3D fan games.
When do I get to the Sonic games?
Hey, you shut up.
26,000.